today we'll be talking about how to find X and Y intercepts. And we've been talking about slope and intercept for the past couple days, slope and the Y intercept. But we're also talking about the X intercept today and how to solve for that, just in general. Okay, so real quick, here's a graph, and here the orange line is the line. Okay, we've talked about how this is the Y intercept because that's where the line crosses the Y axis. So therefore, this right here is the X intercept because that's where the line crosses the X axis. So y-intercept's on the y-axis, x-intercept is on the x-axis. So let's just review. This is slope-intercept form. We've done that before, where this is the slope and positive 2 is the y-intercept. Okay, we've done that. But nowhere in here does it give you the x-intercept. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how to find y-intercept and x-intercept in a different way. Okay? So, first off, write x-intercept, okay? And I need you to know two things about the x-intercept. The first thing is the x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. And the second thing you need to know, which is very important, you're going to see today, the x-intercept is when y is 0. That is something crucial. You have got to remember that the x-intercept is when y is 0. Okay? Then the y-intercept is the opposite. So the first thing you need to know is that the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So it's where the line crosses the y-axis. And the second thing you need to know, which we've already talked about, is that it is when x is 0. Okay? So it's kind of the opposite. The x-intercept is when y is 0. The y-intercept is when x is 0. And this should be familiar because we've been writing the y-intercept as something like this, where the x is a 0. Okay? This is very important, so we're going to hold off. Okay? The steps to find the x and the y intercepts with an equation are as this. So first, we'll do the x-intercept. Doesn't really matter which one you do first. You do the x-intercept. The first thing you do is you replace y with 0. Because remember, the x-intercept is when y is 0. So you replace y with 0. And then the second thing you do is solve. Okay? If you're doing the y-intercept, you could solve for y and then the y-intercept is there, which is what we have been doing, or you can replace the x with a 0 and then solve. This probably makes no sense right now, but it will in a minute. Okay? So x-intercept, y-intercept, this is how you find it. Okay? So on your assignment, you're going to have to find the x and the y-intercepts, and it gives you an equation. Okay? You could find y-intercept by solving for y and then finding it there, or you could do it this way as well. We'll do the x-intercept first. So I'm going to go ahead and put an x here for the x-intercept. So remember, for x-intercept, you replace y with 0. What I mean by that is you rewrite this whole thing, but instead of y, we're going to put 0. So 2x minus 4, but instead of y, I'm going to put 0 equals negative 8. Okay? And then we draw our line. Well, first of all, negative 4 times 0 is just 0. It goes away. And that's going to happen every single time. Okay? So we're left with 2x equals negative 8. Because these went away because of the 0. And then you just solve. So you divide by 2. X equals negative 8 divided by 2 is a negative 4. So the x-intercept is negative 4, but how you write that is, so I'm going to put x-intercept is, remember I like it as a point, you put negative 4 here, because that's the x, and then the other thing is 0. Because remember, you replace the y with a 0, so y is 0. Okay? Very simple. So let's just review that. We put a 0 in for y, it'll go away. and then you divide, and then there you go. Okay? Now to do the y-intercept, yet again, you could solve for y and find it that way, or we replace the x with a 0. So I'll put 2, instead of x I put 0, minus 4y equals negative 8. Okay? 2 times 0, let me draw my line first. 2 times 0 is just 0, it goes away. I'm left with negative 4y equals negative 8. Okay? Then side by side means multiplied, so we just divide by negative 4. And negative 8 divided by negative 4, I will just tell you, is a positive 2. Okay? So the y-intercept is positive 2. How you write that is y-intercept is, remember, x is 0, and then the y is right there. Okay? There you go. So x-intercept, y-intercept. The y, you replace x with 0. The x, you replace y with 0. You just flip it. That's how you do it. Okay? Let's practice another one. We're going to do 2 more. And I'm going to go a little faster. Okay, x and y intercept of this. So, we're going to do the x-intercept first. So remember, x, you replace y with 0. So 4x plus 5, 0, because y is 0, equals 40. Okay, draw our line. These will go away because it's a 0. And 4x comes down, equals 40. Then you divide by 4. Pause if I'm going too fast. Okay, 40 divided by 4 is just 10. So I replaced y with 0. I brought this down, brought that down, divided by 4. The x-intercept is 10, but make sure you write it as 10, 0. That is the x-intercept. Okay? For the y-intercept, we replace the x with 0. So 4, 0, plus 5y equals 40. Okay, draw our line. This goes away. You're just left with 5y equals 40. Side by side means multiplied, so the opposite is dividing. And I will just tell you that 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay, so the y-intercept is 8, but how you write that is 0, 8. The y-intercept is 0, 8. Okay, so it's once you get used to it, it's pretty fast, but there you go. You will see fractions on your assignment, so go ahead, and I'd rather you give me a fraction than a decimal, but both are correct. Do not round though, not allowed. All right, what if you have to find it and it's like this? Okay, you do the same thing as you did before. So x-intercept is when y is 0, correct? So instead of y, I'm going to put 0 equals 10x plus 4. Let me draw our line. We solve for x. This way is a little harder. Your x, 10's your best friend. I get rid of 4. The opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. Okay? These go away. 0 minus 4, if you don't know, is just negative 4 equals 10x. And then we divide by 10. Okay? Negative 4 divided by 10. You're going to get a decimal. I would rather have a fraction, but it really doesn't matter as long as you're not rounding. So negative 2/5. So negative 2/5 equals x. And how you write it is parenthesis, negative 2/5, 0. That's the x-intercept. All you're doing is replacing with y, or replacing the y with 0. Now the y-intercept, I'll show you both ways, but it's already solved for y, so you should automatically know that the y-intercept is a positive 4 from before. But if you don't, then here's how you do it. The y-intercept is when x is 0, right? So y equals 10, 0, plus 4. These go away, right? And all you're left with is y equals 4. So see how it's the same thing? So the y-intercept is 0, 4. That's the y-intercept. Okay? So you're going to see this in algebra, but they're also going to take an extra step and have you graph them, which you'll see, but I want you to find the x and y intercepts doing it this way. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know.